Welcome to the Monday, May 9th Board of Selectmen's meeting.
The town of Boothbay, Abby Levin, who's the other co-chair of the Joint Economic Development Committee, as well as Betty Maddox. And Frank, were you on that interview team?
Was I?
Were you on the interview team?
No.
I don't remember.
Rick Prose.
Oh, yes, Rick Prose from the Chamber, and I think I said Betty Maddox already.
You did.
The finalists really excited the entire group, feeling that they get it, they get what we're trying to accomplish to sort of leverage these events and really increase sort of the economic stimulus for the town during the sort of quieter season. And one of the things that I am bringing to you is this was on the preliminary budget that we presented during the budget conversations back in, I believe, the end of February, that the contract for this consultant engagement is an amount up to $25,000. That's obviously shared by the two towns, Boothbay and Boothbay Harbor, to have the engagement with the consultant, which will begin as quickly as we possibly can, because there's lots of work to do between now and the time Gardens Aglow occurs, and continue until February, so we have time for sort of debrief and analysis with the consultant to see what the impact is of the work that the firm or the individual has conducted on behalf of the towns and the Joint Economic Development Committee. So I mentioned this in the report from the Joint Economic Development Committee at the last meeting as one of the items that was coming up, and the committee is very anxious to move ahead to really engage the consultant and get a contract signed with them to get them moving. Ideally, when we talked about engaging this individual, we really acknowledge that there's a limited time to really work with local businesses before people get in the very busy summer season, and they don't have a lot of time to do sort of extracurricular planning and work. So we have, I think, an imperative to sort of get this process started so we can poll the businesses, try and figure out thematically how we're going to complement the Gardens Aglow, both from a visual and a thematic presentation for the town of Boothbay and Boothbay Harbor and Southport as well, if they're participating. So I'm bringing that information to you and to present, I guess, a follow-up that authorizes the spending from our allocation of the Economic Development Committee funding to go towards the engagement of this consultant. I'm not on the interview committee, so I know that the contract in the RFP was specified an amount up to and not to exceed $25,000. I will mention one other thing, and this is in the email that I sent you, which probably should be under new business, is we are working with the Lincoln County Development Corporation and the Chamber and the Joint Economic Development Committee to apply for a Maine Department of Tourism Enterprise grant to hopefully support the actual sort of marketing and event activities or things that they recommend that we do. We don't have that in the budget for the JEDC. Our $25,000 is really to pay for the consultant costs. And then if they recommend, say, oh, you should do this thematically, and businesses should develop a brand that's on their door so they're a winter event participant or whatever, the Department of Tourism grant would provide some funding to allow us to actually do those things. So there's no assurance we'll get the tourism grant, but we've been asked to submit a letter of support for the tourism grant as a way to supplement this activity, and this all has the businesses pretty excited. They feel like things are gelling, and they want to work to make and see this happen. So I'm happy to answer any questions. As I said, Tom was on the interview committee, and he has participated all through the process, but I'm giving you my best thing from the memory of what I know. So
Okay.
questions?
Good report. The group is really moving forward.
Yes, so
That's exciting.
I'm going to request your approval for the engagement of the consultant in the use of the Joint Economic Development Funds for our proportion of the cost for the consultant engagement.
I'll make the motion. I will move that.
Okay?
And I will second.
Great.
Okay, good. Do we need any more discussion? Any other questions?
I think we're good.
Good,
This
good,
falls
okay.
within the.
Our budget.
Yeah, and the memorandum of agreement in our direction, so.
Right.
Yeah, good. All right, all in favor? Great, we got that.
Yes.
And then I think you're looking for a, are you looking, you're looking for a letter of support for us for the Ask Grant?
Yes, I drafted, this is not the
No.
Ask Grant, this is the Maine
No.
Department of Tourism
Sorry.
grant. And I drafted a letter of support that would go in with the Department of Tourism grant. And I do need to have that put on official letterhead as something from the select people, so, or I
I
can
can have it done tomorrow
Okay.
if they endorse it tonight. then-
So,
Okay,
yeah, that was
so-
my question, is who actually signs that out?
I am happy to have the chair sign it. I really drafted it in case I needed to get it in, and I could sign it on our behalf, but it'd be stronger coming from the chair, so I'm happy to, if you're happy with the letter, Denise, to,
I was fine with the letter.
Yeah, I think it was
I
good.
think-
It was good
Yeah.
letter, Wendy.
yeah. I'll just have to look and make sure I don't say
We
that
are.
I'm on the JEDC. I
All
don't
right.
think I said that, but.
We need to double check it,
Yeah.
wordsmith or
So
whatever.
there is one little edit that's even a spelling
Oh,
correction.
good.
that
Can
I
you just pass that
yes,
along?
I certainly can.
Yeah, and
But
then Julie will
otherwise-
coordinate with
Okay.
you.
Do we need a motion?
I think we need a motion
We need a
to provide a letter of support for the DOT grant.
No, Maine
Maine-
Department
Maine
of,
MOT.
yeah.
Maine
it's-
Department
said-
of Tourism.
It's Maine Department of
Okay.
Tourism. But if you say MDOT,
It
then
Oh,
sounds-
I didn't say Maine, I said
Department
DOT,
of
but all right,
Transport, yeah.
all right then.
Yes.
Department
Actually, I
of
think it's
Tourism.
the
So
main
I
office.
will make that
Oh,
motion.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Office
moved,
of,
that
okay.
we adopt the letter that Wendy drafted to the Department of Tourism
Okay,
in support of the grant application.
Thank you.
okay, great. So, second,
Thank you.
all right. All in favor?
Great. Thank you very much. I'll make sure that if I get your edits, we'll clean that up and get that off for the application, so.
Okay,
Great.
great. Then there,
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry, there was one
Yeah.
last thing with the Joint Economic Development
Yeah,
Committee.
okay.
First of all, I want to acknowledge Frank, who is on our committee, who's one of the Boothbay Harbor representatives. And again, I want to thank all the members of the committee who really worked very, very hard on this. And we have been working with the town managers to invite both boards of selectmen to get together with the Joint Economic Development Committee on Tuesday, May 31st. We generally meet on Tuesdays, and it's like the fifth Tuesday, so it's an odd Tuesday with no competing meetings that I know of. And the goal of that meeting is to really sit down as a group with both town select boards to talk a little bit about the committee and to revisit and look at the memorandum of agreement, because the memorandum of agreement was a one-year agreement. And I think it's an easy way for us to talk to the committee about what in the memorandum has worked, what does not work so well, what might be revised if we choose to re-up the memorandum of agreement with the town of Boothbay, and it just sort of consolidates that process. So you should be receiving an invitation from Tom for that meeting on the 31st, but if you can mark your calendar and hold that, that would be helpful.
What time?
We meet at 5:30, usually in the YMCA in the upstairs conference room.
Were we thinking about moving that to the town hall here in Boothbay Harbor?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we were thinking about holding that actually in Boothbay. I
Okay.
think Boothbay Town Hall. Yeah, it'll be in the email, but, so time for us to sit down again.
Okay.
Time flies when you're having fun, so there we
Exactly.
go.
Okay. So one last thing that I actually meant to do kind of earlier in the meeting, completely forgot, is, and here I am kind of running the meeting, is it's time once again to elect a chair and a vice chair. So,
I am happy to move the nomination of Denise Griffin to serve as Chair of the Boothbay Harbor Board of Selectmen and Russ Hoffman to serve as Vice Chair of the Boothbay Harbor Board of Selectmen.
And I am happy to second
I
those
figured you
nominations.
would be.
Someone's happy.
And
yeah.
to quote Denise, this is something that there's no discussion on.
Well, that's only to motion to adjourn.
We'd be
Okay.
honored if you all
All
would
right.
accept this
Are we okay with that?
responsibility.
Well, as long as you're always here, I'm fine with that. Yeah,
I
that's-
can't promise
that'll
that,
work,
but,
yeah.
all right, then, any more discussion? All right, all in favor?
We'll vote by
I'll
acclamation.
vote for you.
There we
Okay.
go. Congratulations.
Thank you. But I actually have to thank you for all the work you've done on JEDC, because I know that has been a ton of work this spring, so really appreciate your work, Mike's work, Frank's work, everybody who's worked on that committee.
We feel
So,
good.
yeah, and you should, because a lot has gotten done. So, all right, so we'll move on to public forum. Any public forum?
Yeah, again, speaking up not only as a member of the Joint Economic Development Committee, but also as a regional resident. And you're right, a lot has gotten done, and I think it's a perfect example of what increased cooperation between the two towns can come up with. Some economies of scale. I mean, it's endless, the things that we can do, but it's proof that together we can really move forward and get some things done and get to know each other a little bit better. And the government's getting to know each other a little bit better, because there is some very common things that make a lot of sense to work together on. Also, and to economic development in itself, it requires a lot of patience. Nothing is going to happen overnight with this. There's not any one lever that we can pull that's going to, increase school populations. One lever we're going to pull that's going to fix traffic. One lever we're going to pull that's going to, decrease energy costs and all that kind of stuff. But it's a series of many levers that get pulled. And sometimes a lever that gets pulled doesn't make a lot of sense if you look at it right now. But then down the road, when 4 or 5 other levers get pulled, it starts to make total sense. So it requires patience and input, and mistakes get made. We try to limit those, but it's great that we're moving forward. You're moving always, either forward or back. So we're going to try to keep the pendulum going in the right direction. So we appreciate everybody's patience.
Thank you, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
Okay, I'll look for a motion to approve warrants.
So move.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, great.
Can I just add one more thing as sort of a public forum thing? I would I'm sorry that Tom isn't here, but I'd just like to recognize Tom and the office staff. So Julia, if you would carry this forward. Our annual meeting went pretty smoothly on Saturday.
Yeah,
And
very nice.
I think that's largely because of the staff work that gets done ahead of time. So
I'll pass it on.
thanks to all of you that got that organized and running so smoothly.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very great. Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to say, I don't believe there's a need for an executive session tonight. So that being the case, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
This motion is not debatable. All in favor?
Thanks.